Good. My name is Kalob Drewery, and this is Sociological Perspectives on Religion. This presentation is based off prior research I did for my sociological class for my honors institute. Now, before I begin and deep dive into the presentation, I want to touch on something, which is religiosity. Now, religiosity is just religious feelings or devotions. And as you can see by this graph, the level of religiosity in the U.S. has decreased by about 20% through 4 generations. But, as you can see, around 77% of the U.S. population still belongs to a religion. Now, this slide will show you why I chose to do religion and to cover religion in this presentation. We live in Mississippi, which is a state with the highest religiosity in the U.S. And you can kind of see that by all the churches we have around. I grew up around here, churches everywhere as far as I can see. Every member of my family is a Christian. So when I was studying sociology in my class, it kind of hit me. I can use this to study religion and see why they are in the religion. And the functionalist perspective really helps on that, which we'll get into here in a second. Now, the 3 classical perspectives we'll be covering is structural functional, which I'll just refer to as functionalist, social conflict, which I'll just refer to as conflict, and symbolic interaction theory. Now, functionalist perspective sees society as a complex system that works together to help society function. It's good at explaining social stability, but not so good at explaining social change. A functionalist may ask, how does the religious institution help society function? What role does it perform in society? A conflict theorist sees social life as a competition and focuses on the distribution of resources, power, and inequality. It's the opposite of functionalist. And a conflict theorist may ask, who benefits from this in society? Or does this institution favor one group above the other? Now, symbolic interaction theory studies the exchange of meaning through language, symbols, and rituals. A symbolic interactionist may ask, what symbol or ritual does this institution use? Now, let's begin with functionalist. A role is a behavior expected of an individual who occupies a given position or status. Some common roles you'll see in Christian churches is a preacher is expected to deliver sermons, while a service member is expected to attend the communion. A role you might see in Islam is an imam who leads Islamic worship services, and in Judaism, a rabbi teaches the Torah. Now, rules is behavior expected from everyone in a certain group. Some rules you'll see in Christian churches. A church member is expected to uphold the values of the institution and is expected to follow the representative holy book. Now, I'm going to look at religion and the family institution. Now, regular divorce rates is about 14.9% per 1,000 people in the U.S. Religious divorce rate is 47% lower than the average. The likelihood of marriage is higher, and it increases solidarity, which is just mutual support within a group. And it also opens the pathway for a common interest. If a family is attending church on Sunday, they have something they can bond over. And as you can see by this graph, the likelihood of divorce by devout is lower than non-devout in the modern days. And this is for both white and black churchgoers. Now, we'll look at the opposite, and we'll look at social conflict. The focus of social conflict is that it looks at power and inequality. And as you can see here, I have 2 examples from the past. Divine right rule, which is just when a monarch uses religion as a way to rule over their subjects. If God ordained me to be your king, then it would not be right to religion to overthrow me. and used to justify slavery in the past. In the South, or in the U.S. as a whole, Christianity used the Bible as a way to justify enslavement of African Americans. And in modern time, it is used against same-sex marriage and some patriarchy. Now, the approval of same-sex marriage by Christians, as you can see, it has improved over the past 2 decades, but it's still not as high in some institutions. For reference, 79% of non-affiliated U.S. citizens approve of same-sex marriage, while 66% of white mainline Protestants approve of it, 61% of Catholics approve of it, and only 29% of white evangelical Protestants approve of it. Now, we'll look at religion and patriarchy, which is just another form of inequality. As you can see on this graph, not too many religious institutions in the U.S. has had female leadership. But this is based off of some outdated information. It's from 2016. And since then we've had another women's rights movement. So I went and looked at that. And I was kind of surprised about what I found. There was not a lot of change. The American Baptist Church, which had a female leader, has since changed so that they no longer have one. The Conservative Judaism has a current female CEO, which it did not have. And then the Unitarian has a female president now, which is new for that institution. Now for final, we'll look at symbolic interaction theory. Now, it looks at symbols and rituals and how a religion uses that to identify with each other and to increase solidarity. The symbols represent a religion or concept within the religion. Christianity has several different symbols it goes under. But as you can see, I have several of the most notable and most common. You have Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Taoism, Buddhism, Sikhism, Confucianism, Shinto, Jainism, Baha'i, and native spirituality. Now, a ritual is a set action performed mainly for symbolic value. It serves as a social function as they reinforce their shared beliefs. For Catholics, you have the 7 sacraments, which is baptism, confirmation, the Eucharist, ordination, marriage, reconciliation, and the anointing of the sick. 2 of the most common you'll hear in at least pop culture, or if you read certain authors, for Judaism is the Passover and Bar Mitzvah. And for Islam, you have the 5 pillars, which when translated means faith, prayer, almsgiving, fasting, and pilgrimage. And with that, that's the end of my presentation. Thank you.